The ape, called Kotap, was rescued by a team from International Animal Rescue and local officials at a remote village in West Kalimantan, Borneo. Kotap, aged just 4, had spent half his life shut up in the ramshackle box, measuring just 10 square feet, with nothing but a straw and an empty plastic bottle to play with. At first he was so frightened of the outside world that he cowered at the back of his cramped home when rescuers opened the front hatch. But they were eventually able to coax him to the entrance before the young animal was finally lifted to safety. His captor, a man named Baco, claimed to have been given the orangutan by some people he met in the village of Ketapang, West Kalimantan. Baco had spotted the small baby ape in a cardboard box and agreed to take him home and look after him. However, he soon became concerned that Kotap would disturb the neighbors and built a cage for him at the front of his house. He had fed Kotap on a diet of human food, including bread and rice. Baco claimed that the orangutan's favorite meal was uncooked instant noodles, washed down with a sachet of sugary drink. Officials from the BKSTA had previously visited Baco at his home in Baco, a village in West Kalimantan, but were unable to persuade him to hand over Kotap. But after they explained the plight of orangutans in Borneo and that he must act in the best interests of the animal, Baco agreed to give up Kotap. When the door of the box was opened and Air Badui extended her hand to Kotap, at first he was frightened and ran to the back of the box where he couldn't be reached. After years in the darkness, he clearly found the sight and sound of the outside world terrifying. Louise said, Kotap was very stressed by all the strangers who gathered to see him when he was taken out of the box. He became nervous and aggressive, which is not surprising. So during the long journey back to the center we kept people away from him so that he remained as quiet and calm as possible. Alan Knight, Chief Executive of International Animal Rescue, said, "This poor orangutan had been kept alone in the dark for 2 long years, half his entire life. He was deprived of everything an orangutan needs to survive in the wild. At 4 years old, he should still be with his mother, learning from her how to climb and move through the forest, what foods to eat and what to avoid, and how to build a nest in the trees to sleep in each night. Instead, Kotap lived a sad and solitary existence, unable to exercise or express any of the natural behaviors of a wild orangutan. He was fed an unsuitable diet that could have made him seriously ill and would surely eventually have been driven mad with boredom and frustration. Thankfully now, after a period in quarantine, Kotap will meet other rescued orangutans at our center and embark on the long journey through rehabilitation back to the forest where he belongs." Less than 2 months ago, AIR's team rescued Amy, whose sad story of cruelty and neglect was very similar to Kotap's. Carmelano Sanchez, Program Director for AIR Indonesia, said, "It's high time people realize that, if they keep breaking the law by capturing orangutans and keeping or selling them as pets, then the species will soon become extinct."
So we're going back to Ketapang Tower Center, which is in Sungai Awan, so probably it will take about like 10 to 12 hours maybe. Kotap is doing pretty good. He's still aggressive, so we just want to keep him away from the stranger. And stress level is actually a bit decreased rather than the first day we rescued him, but still whenever he saw or he sees some stranger, he get a little bit aggressive, so we just try to keep a distance from him with the people who are curious about him.